Hey everyone, Celine here, and I just wanted to talk to you about. Hold on one second, let me get to it so that I can see you. One second, let me open it up. Great, now I can see. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you all about Notary Resume. And while I wait for a few more people to join, just want you all to hear this great beat produced by my friend, Mr. Gilbert. Getting myself hyped, coming out of what I call the comfort corner. So here we go. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. That was just a little taste. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you all about Notary Resume and just make sure I stay on point. I do have a few nuggets that I definitely want to share with you all. If you don't know, Notary Resume is a directory, it's a database where you can populate all of the great things you do have done as a notary and or signing agent. And it's notaryresume.com. And it feeds into the signing order platform. So you have notaryresume.com, which feeds into signingorder.com. And as dotted line signings, I am a signing service. So also a signing agent. So I still perform those duties as well. But as a signing service, I use the signing order platform to be able to assign notaries to various signings that come my way. So let me, I just saw that comment. Thank you. I, the nuggets. Let me get to it. I'm sorry I got distracted, easily distracted, but I'm gonna bring it all back together and make sure I provide you these great little nuggets that I have written here. And I'm just looking down so that I make sure I don't miss anything. If you want to see if you're signed up, you can go to dottedline.signingorder.com/sign up to see if you are already a part of the Notary Resume database. Let me type it in the chat so you can see. Okay, oh, hold on, let me fix that right quick. Dotted line signing order.com. Sign up to see if you're in the database, and Notary Resume can be found here. Okay, great. So nugget one, make sure your availability is listed and accurate. I find it is important when I am doing assignments to look at the availability of the notaries. And why I say that is because if you say that you work 24/7, guess what? If I need a notary at 1 a.m. and I'm having to be looking for notaries at that time, then I'm going to call you and say, hey, are you available for a signing? So yeah, so be ready. So be realistic with the times that you are available. And if I do happen to call you at 1 o'clock, seeing if you're available for a signing, now of course I'm exaggerating, but I do believe that things like that can happen. You know, don't later blast me that I called you at 1 o'clock in the morning asking you to do a signing. And the reason I call is because your availability says 24/7. So if you're not really available 24/7, then you may want to actually put down the times that you are available, because that is important, because that is something that a signing service may look at, or I know I do look at it when I am assigning jobs. And I'll give you case in point. I had a 10 p.m. signing available, and then I saw where a notary had is only available after 6:30. So I was like, oh, okay, so let me give her a call to see if she is available. And so I reached out, and she was available, and that helped me to know that she really wanted to do a job at 10 o'clock. Because she said she spoke of her availability. So make sure that you're honest and realistic in your availability, um, so that when you're being contacted, you really are available. Now, of course, you may have a signing at that time, but not to make it seem like, oh gosh, why are you calling me this late? Well, your availability said you're available 24/7, and I need a notary now. So are you really available or are you not? So that's nugget one. Be honest and realistic with your availability. So, nugget two, check the boxes about your capabilities and the type of tools you have. We, as signing services, we aren't mind readers. So, if you don't have smartphone email check, and I'm talking about notary resume check boxes, I'm not sure about the other databases, then to me, that means you're still using a flip phone, and that you won't be able to respond to an email, in between signings. Like, to me, that means you have to wait until you get home to be able to respond to an email that I sent. So if you don't have that checked and you really do have smartphone email, just go in there and check the box. It could make a difference of where you're being hired for a job or not hired for a job, because my interpretation says you're still working off a flip phone. You won't be able to get to the email um, in a timely fashion. So, yeah, you know, so definitely you want to make sure the applicable boxes are checked and not leave it up for our interpretation. So, the last nugget that I want to give to you today is in your intro. You can put as much information as possible, but always be honest about what you're putting in there. For example, saying you do error free work. You might do. You honestly, you might never mess up on your work. But that one time that you do you still leave that statement in that box? Because if I read that you have error free work and you go on assignment for me, and then there's a problem with it, you no longer do error free work. So you might be good right now. Maybe you've never done a signing, so your work may be error free. But as soon as you get called back to fix something, then you might want to, you know, remove that statement from there, because you always want to be as honest in your intro, because I do read intros as well. Because I'm able to, I want to make sure that I am providing um, my clients with the best signing agent that's out there. So I do take the time to read what you say in your intros. So, yep, there may be a lag time. You're like, I hit that button 2 hours ago and they didn't say anything. It's because it's the process of still vetting the notaries. Um, to make sure that they're the right fit for the job. If you say in your intro that you are a great communicator, then I want to see that when we're working together. I don't want to have to guess if you've confirmed the appointment with the signer. I don't want to have to guess is the signing over. If I don't want to have to guess and pray and hope that it all went well. So just shoot a message like, oh, the signing is great, no complaints, or we had to call title, or we had to call whomever to make sure things are resolved. Um, so yeah, there is a certain level of expectation. If your intro says I'm a great communicator, then that's the expectation that you set for the signing service that has hired you to perform your duties as a notary signing agent. So carry that all the way through. Don't leave the signing service hanging. Um, yep. So make sure that you confirm appointments timely. I believe in the signing order, you have 2 hours to confirm an appointment. Whether you call, you get a voicemail, you leave a voicemail, you send a text, something to let the signing service know that you did reach out to the signer to make the appointment. Because it's not just the signing service that wants to know, it's the title, it's the lender. All of those people in line want to make sure that the signer is available for the time that they want the closing to happen. So if you get an order, then just reach out to the client. If it's a week in advance, you can still reach out to the client and they'll follow up, like a day or two before you actually go to execute the documents. Um, what else do I want to say about communication? That is very important to me um, as dotted line signings because it is how I provide great customer service to the companies that hire me to find notary signing agents to execute these documents. And so that is very, very high on my list of qualities, admirable qualities in a notary signing agent is communication. It's not about hand holding, um, but it's about communicating basically. If it's the first time that we work together, then yeah, I'm like, oh, how did things go? I'm gonna ask that question because I genuinely want to know. Um, I know I'm saying a lot of ums because I'm live and I'm thinking off the fly, but because I just said everything I had written down, so I'm just chit chatting right now, giving you my perspective as a signing service, as a notary signing agent. Because when I started assigning notaries, I started feeling some of the angst. Now, I'm 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 small and I'm growing, but I can imagine what the other smaller or small signing services feel when they don't hear from a notary or when they're not sure if things are going well or if things went well. And it's just a little bit of angst there. So I'm definitely, I'd rather you call and say, Salathia, I have a question about whatever the question is. Just feel free to call and ask. Respond by text, by email. I'm usually available unless I'm at a signing myself, but I do try to make myself available if you have questions. So don't ever feel like there's a question that you can't ask. Just ask it and know that you have asked the question and we're going to move on from it. I'm going to answer it the way I know how to answer it as a notary. But if it's a question that deals with the documents that I can't answer, then I will reach out to my point of contact to be able to answer that question for you or provide you with their information so that you can ask them the questions that you may have during the signing. So don't ever think there's a such thing as a stupid question, or maybe I shouldn't ask that question because in the end, you are your best representative. If you put your best foot forward and you go in there knowing what you're doing, then that's the best way to represent yourself. Don't feel like that you have to guess your way through executing loan signings. Just put your best foot forward and know that you asked the question, know that you got your question answered, so you can go in there feeling confident, because that's the one thing that you don't want to feel. You know, like you don't know what you're doing when you're at the table. So those are my three nuggets. Be your availability, be honest and realistic. If you know that you go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, don't say you're available till midnight, because you're going to miss, you may miss the calls between 12 and midnight. So definitely realistic and honest with your availability. You also want to be transparent on your intro. If communication ain't your thing, if you don't want to be talking back and forth to people, then don't put that on your intro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be who you are, be your authentic self. But at the same time, know that you're representing yourself and that you're representing a whole lot of different businesses when you show up at the signer's house. Also, you will want to make sure that, well, my other nuggets, you check the boxes if they're applicable. Yes, I would like to know that you have a smartphone with email. I don't know why I'm just hung up on that one, because that one just stood out to me for some reason. So definitely make sure on notaryresume.com that your resume is complete and that you give enough information so that the signing service can make an informed decision about who they're hiring, contracting with, to go out there and execute their loan signing documents. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them here, or you can shoot me an email, or you can send me a message through DM. And thank you so much. And I'm about to end this live. And as always, thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. You all have a great one.